Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to keep talking about the basics first, and what's more basic than knowing how to get out your stuff from Quixel Mixer. So we're going to talk about exporting in this video. Now Quixel Mixer has various ways for you to export your results, and remember this isn't a texturing program, so we're mostly going to be exporting maps. Now we can go here into the export tab. And as always, pretty simple. You just select the name, you select the folder where you're going to save this. It can also create subfolders for you. You can check this if you want the resolution for your file names to go with the naming convention. This is actually very useful when you have set textile density in your level. So it's very good if you know the resolution of some of your materials. And over here we have the format. So this is one of the important steps, and you probably heard me say it in one of my other videos that I like PNG because TGA and EXR are great file formats to have. They're just a little bit too big. They're necessary in some cases. They're just a little bit too big. JPEG is also a good file format if you need to use a lot less memory because it's a very small file format, but it's compressed. So I always default to PNG whenever I'm exporting anything. And here you can select your resolution, and let's go into the interesting part. So each one of these maps, as you can see, has a little drop down right here. So if you open this drop down, you're gonna see that you can select per map which kind of format you want. So that's why in case of the mega scans, you see that some of the maps are PNG and the displacement is CXR, something like that. So you can do the same thing here. You can select which format you want and do it per map as opposed to the whole file. You can also select which one is RGB, grayscale. Grayscale is useful for metallic, roughness, displacement, height, those kinds of things. Usually you leave RGB for normal maps and albedos. RGBA means RGB, so the red, green, and blue, plus alpha, so that'll give you the alpha channel if you need that too. Over here we have the bits where you can select from 8-bit or 16-bit. Now over here you can also select whether you are using sRGB or linear. Usually you don't have to deal with this in programs, but I think it's very nice that Mixer gives you the choice of switching in between those, because for instance right now if I go to roughness, and you can see that the roughness, it's on linear. Okay, sRGB is more of like a rich RGB format that will enhance the coloring of your maps. That's why having sRGB on maps like roughness, normal maps, displacement, it's not good, because these are maps that are used for from the engine to do mathematical calculations and to have them apply the effect that you needed to apply. So that is why it's very important that you leave these as linear. I don't know if you've had this problem, but sometimes when you import a roughness map from another program into Unreal, it imports as sRGB and it looks really shiny, so you have to go and uncheck. And that is kind of a hassle if you have a ton of maps in there. So that's another good thing that Quixel allows you to do, is to change here whether you want sRGB or linear. Over here, you can also select what kind of maps are you exporting. So if I'm exporting this out, I'm not going to be exporting albedo and diffuse. I'll just export albedo because albedo and diffuse are pretty much the same thing. Sometimes they're even interchangeable. I'm not following the specular and gloss. So for this one, I'm not going to check specular. It's not necessary. I am following the metal roughness, which is the most common workflow that you'll see in Unreal Engine. So that's why I'll leave my roughness and everything else on. And if you have metalness, in this case, I have absolutely no metalness in this texture. You can check it if you want, but because I don't, I uncheck it. And that will diminish the amount of maps that you're gonna get. All right, so after that, you just click export and it's going to export that out into the folder that you have chosen here. There's another way to export things out. It's called quick export. It's right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to take whatever settings you already have here and it's going to export it to that folder. So if you're just making quick changes on the fly, you can just click quick export or Control Shift and E, and that will take out whatever maps you have. So this form of exporting will give you all maps, and that way you can take the maps in the engine of your preference. You can take them into Unreal. And over here we have export to library. Export to library will actually export this out to your local Megascan library, and that way you will have it available as a material for later use. So if I were to go here and click export to library, you're gonna see that I get this window right here. So I can give it a name, I can select a category, and I can set a resolution for it. I can also add tags. So if I have a bunch of materials, this will only export to your local library. This is not gonna go online yet, at least at the recording of this video. So these tags are for you to look for your material really quickly. If you have a bunch of surfaces in your local library, you can also check the maps that you're gonna need and just click export. So once you do that, you're going to get in your local library a material, just like you would with any other surface in the Megascans. All right, so that is so you can have it here, and then you can export it out with Bridge, and you don't have to be constructing the material in Unreal later on. That's why this workflow is so easy and so nice to use. All right, that is it for this video. Just a quick one to let you know how to get your things out of Mixer. What you're seeing on screen now, it's what we're going to be making in the next tutorial. We're going to be playing with liquids. We're going to be playing with decals, so we can achieve a completely different material than what we started with. So please stay tuned for that. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like, share this video around. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.